for you, and it's a unique opportunity. We haven't presented anything like this, in our sessions. So today we are presenting Alien Tattoos, which specializes in a tattoo division, and it's one of the fastest growing chain in the premium tattoo studios around the world. So to be part of this session and to brief more about how the brand has got started, what are the key USPs, what is the investment model and franchisee model, we have with us today Hirosh with us from Alien Tattoos. So thank you, Hirosh, for joining with us and being part of this session. So uh, over here we see that Mr. Sunny Ashok is the founder and CEO of Aliens Art Private Limited. So he was going to be part of this session. Unfortunately, he couldn't join. So Hirosh is going to represent and brief us about Alien Tattoos. So Hirosh, if you could brief us about your profile, how the brand started, and what was the idea behind it.
Sure. Thank you, Kritika, for such quick and wonderful introduction. My name is Hirosh Mulki, and I am VP Marketing for Aliens Group of companies. And Aliens was something which got incepted in 2011, where Sunny Bhanushali, who is our founder and CEO, transitioned into being an artist, discovered his artistic passion and started his artistic journey. And one thing led to another, and before we know, today we are spread across the country. We've got close to 10 locations live. When you look at Aliens, it is not just the studio, or the the tattoo studio aspect of it. We also have a school which is one of its kind, school in the entire world, which is dedicated to teach tattooing as an art form, which goes ahead and comes up with this innovative platform where we are teaching young blood to pursue the passion in art and become professional tattoo artists. So in a nutshell, we've grown in leaps and bounds. Aliens Tattoo is the fastest growing premium tattoo studio in the country. Matter of fact, we are the only tattoo studio who has grown at such a rate, and we are pretty much there in 10 cities as of now when I speak to you all. And a couple of more which is coming up in due course of time. I think by the time we are in the month of April, May, we should be touching the number of around about 14 or 15.
Got it, got it. So that's a great brief about it. And how did you see? I mean, whenever we talk about businesses, there are many set of sectors and segments. If you know what I mean. But
True.
we never speak of like tattoos and being such number that you have already expanded into 10 outlets. So how did you predict the market that okay, we are starting with this brand and this is what the market is going to be? What was the vision behind it? Uh,
See, honestly, Alien Tattoos, like I said, was the brainchild of Sunny, who is a CEO and founder and our CEO. But to understand how this brand grew, you need to understand how this sector was before Aliens as a brand came about. Matter of fact, that particular problem, is what led Sunny to think in this particular direction and take these concrete steps. So this was a very unorganized sector. Back in I mean, if you go to time before us, it was a place where tattoo was seen as a taboo. It was not seen as an art form, and the reason behind that was that the artists who claimed to be tattoo artists back then were not trained professionals. They didn't understand how it is to manage the entire process of tattooing. There were stereotypes which are associated with it, and unhygienic processes. There was no structure in terms of how to go ahead and actually give a person who's getting a tattoo an experience. That's on And that is what led uh, uh, to improve all of this, is what was the first thought. And that's how Sunny got into. He himself is a tattoo artist, and he saw all of these problems, and he said, if this industry has to be grown, uh, which it definitely should, because it's one of the most beautiful art forms, these problems need to be addressed. And these problems, or rather solution to these problems, is actually what became the bedrock to our ideology, and that's how we operate. So irrespective of which Aliens you walk into, whether it's Delhi, whether it's Bangalore, Bombay for that matter, you will find the same experience. Bombay is where the entire journey started, but now irrespective of which aliens you go, and we're pretty much there in all major cities. It's the same experience, and these experiences are nothing but solutions to these problems.
Got it, got it. And how long did it take for you since the brand started till the time you started franchising it and giving franchise? Because you also need to set up the process and understand, the
True,
locations, the feasibility. So,
true.
what was the duration during those
So,
times?
like I said, right, the journey started in 2011, and we started franchising somewhere around mid 2018. So we dedicated a good solid 7 years
Mhm.
to fine tune the processes, bring in those necessary steps, which today people know as aliens tattoo. When you walk into aliens, it's an experience. It's not just getting a tattoo. It's an experience where you go through various aspects of it. And as we move forward in our conversation, you'll I mean, we'll come to know about it. But we dedicated 7 solid years. We fine tuned the entire process, and then we realized that now we've reached a point where we can start scaling. So this is a lot of hard work of a lot of people, right from Sunny to the entire team, which has led to the brand that we so proudly say that Aliens is the leading brand when it comes to the tattoo industry, both India as well as globally. And it's something where when you walk through our doors, you actually come to know that, oh, this is what a premium tattoo studio looks like. And when you walk out with an experience which is a far more richer experience, and you say, yes, if I have to get a tattoo done next time, I would definitely walk into Aliens again. Matter of fact, if any of my friends and family members want to get a tattoo done, I think Aliens is the place to get that done.
Wow, that's really great. And in the similar lines, the business seekers who will be viewing this session and who are with us on this session today would also want to understand that why choosing alien tattoos is such a good idea for them, be it in terms of the investment, be it in terms of I mean the work that is required under it, or be it in terms of the returns that they are going to achieve under this. So we move to the next slide. I think we have a couple of bullet points which specifies the key USPs for alien tattoos. So if you can elaborate, Hirosh, on these points and explain our audience.
So more or less, this industry has been in existence for, I mean, if you look historically, couple of 100 years. But if I have to talk in today's time and relevance, this industry has been there around about 20-25 odd years. We are, the only player who is young enough, as young as a decade, and grown at such a skyrocketing pace. Our growth trajectory has been superb. So we are the leading studio in terms of both revenue as well as reach, because we've already spread across 10, 11 locations. Like I said, we set the standards so high, that we elevated the entire tattoo industry per se, where we gave a new dimension that tattoo studios can also be premium. Otherwise, the conventional tattoo studios, whatever you guys have heard, seen, are not don't talk about premiumness, or are not bespoke. But yes, that's what we did. uh, what made us premium is not just the look and feel, but also the kind of quality of work that we give. So when we design our tattoos, there is a method to it. It's a very artistic approach that we take. We have a lot of investment in terms of the artist, the training of the artist, and the tech that he uses to design. And lastly, but not the least, the entire experience of getting a tattoo done, the tattoo service. So we make sure that we maintain, medical grade hygiene. So it's a given that irrespective of which studio you walk into, there are the hygiene protocols are medical grade. We use sterilized equipments. Our entire studio is sanitized, and this is not just because COVID and hygiene is something that is the buzzword right now, but this is what we followed always. It's certain things that you do, which become the part of your foundation. Hygiene is something which is very natural, and very, very important for us. And in our growth trajectory, we've also gone ahead and transcended Indian borders, where we already have a studio in California,
Mhm.
and we are also looking at international locations as we speak.
Got it. So as we speak of the standards, I think that's the quality for most of the brands, who are providing the services which are standard across the outlets which is there. So how do you maintain that standard across the outlets in terms of the services or the arts? Because tattoo is something, it depends, varies from person to person and the trainer to trainer how they're going to design. So how are you able to maintain that quality and standard in them?
Yes. So, Kritika, like I said, right? Aliens Tattoo is known for giving you an experience. Now, when I say experience, it's everything comes into it. It's from the time you walk through the door, how you get greeted, how our artists interact with you, how they understand your requirement, and how that idea of what you thought about getting a tattoo gets translated into a design, and that eventually moves into being a tattoo. Now, this process is something that got fine tuned over a period of our first 7 years. And then the other aspect of Aliens, which is the Aliens Tattoo Art School, is where all of these processes get imparted to each and every artist of ours. So if you have to be our artist, you have to be coming from that particular school. So that's the first step that we take. So at the artist level itself, we have a standard procedure and a standard approach. While it is a lot of people don't agree to the concept of saying how can you standardize art, it's actually
Yeah,
not standardizing art, it's standardizing the thought process of an artist, which betters the quality of art. Okay, so
right.
that is what happens. That's what happens at the artist end. Similarly, there is another aspect in the studio where when you walk in, you get greeted by a studio team, and they make you feel comfortable, and they make you feel at home, because a lot of people come to get their tattoo done for the first time, and there is a certain amount of fear and apprehension that everybody has.
Mhm.
Because there's enough and more myth out there saying it's painful, and you bleed and this and that happens. So we manage both those aspects. So we understand that quality of art also needs to be managed, and at the end of the day, person who's walking through the door is a human being, so you need to manage the emotional aspect as well. Now, keeping these two as our modus operandi, we operate similarly across all studios.
Got it. Perfect. And I hope all our business seekers have gotten a message on, what are the key USPs. And similarly, this particular slide is very important, wherein we need to understand what is the ideal franchisee profile according to you. I mean, what set of people would be a great fit as a franchisee partner for Alien Tattoos? Do they need to have any specific education set, or do they need to come from an artistic background? What is the time set that they require to invest in a business once they get associated as a franchisee partner, and also if any skill set which is required under this? So,
Uh,
Hiroshi, okay.
this is where I think we are extremely unique. What we are looking at our franchisee partners, or rather all the franchisee partners that we currently have, and the common factor with all of them is they're passionate towards art. They like and understand art, and this is all that we ask from the future franchisee partners, because we are the only 100% hands-off franchisee model that exists in this space. Okay, now when I say we are the only 100% hands-off franchisee model, what I mean to say is that from a franchisee partner perspective, we understand that not everybody is an artist. Okay, and because our business is all about art, there is no formal education that you can actually have. So we don't have a educational background, or any other any particular educational background that we look for. But what we definitely look for is, are you passionate towards art, and are you passionate towards business? If you have these two components, rest everything gets managed, because we manage the operation. And when I say operation, I'm not just talking about the day-to-day operation. The day you decide to be part of the Aliens family, the journey starts from there. And we are there every step of the way. So telling you how it works, what are the pitfalls that you can expect, how the business is gradually going to move up the curve as time passes, and so on and so forth. We do this entire hand holding, and the hand holding doesn't get over once you come in and formally open your studio. Matter of fact, it just gets better and it continues. So ideal franchisee profile, Kritika, would be somebody who is passionate for art and passionate for business. Is a perfect fit for us.
Perfect. And what is the skills? I mean, the time that they require to devote in this business? Like,
So every business requires a certain amount of time. While we do, bulk of the work at our end, but every person, the recommended time that would be required is at least you spend hour a day. Uh, I would calculate it like that. So in a week, say 5 to 6 hours. But what we are also doing is we've already taken steps in our franchisee model itself, where now we are moving in the direction where we've got a lot of data analytics which we've put in. So there are dashboards which are created, and there are systems in place where you actually don't have to go to the studio to figure out what is happening in your studio. Okay. uh, it's available on at a click of a button. There are apps which have been created, so you can be in control of your business while actually not being physically present. So from a time perspective, if somebody is really passionate, yes, you're more than welcome to make you part of the ops. But if you don't want to, and this is something that you don't have the bandwidth, we really what you require is probably once a fortnight checking in terms of what is the health of the business, how are things going about.
right. And as you rightly said, passion is very important to run any business. I mean,
True.
at the end, you need to drive the business and you need to have that passion to drive that business and to achieve that profit that you're looking to for
True.
your business. So it's really important. And I hope our business seekers have heard, I mean, in terms of the education background. So you just need to be passionate. The other things would be taken care and would be trained from the brand's end. So we move to the next slide, wherein we would want to understand one of the most important factor in this, which is financials. Um, in financials, I think it's divided into four different segments depending on the space which is there. Over here, we see the space starts from 450 and goes up to 2000 square feet as well. And the investment and the franchisee fee varies accordingly. So, Hirosh, if you can just elaborate on the investment vertical and how are they going to invest, what is the return that they're going to
Sure.
achieve under
So,
this?
like I said, this is a well laid out, well planned franchising model that we have here. Effectively, what we've done is we've broken the entire country down into metros and mini metros. Non-metros really don't have a propensity for a brand of propensity in terms of tattoo as a category. Uh, excuse me. So we have four clear buckets, 450 to 550. So basically these are those sizes of the studios that you can have depending on your investment appetite. As part of the entire investment, we've broken it down in terms of what is the franchisee fee, site development, artist accommodation. There is a service charge that we put, and then the salaries which go from month on month. So your minimum investment is anywhere from a 58 lakhs, goes up to around about a crore, depending on the size that you are. I would want to kind of give a little detail in terms of what are these heads all about. So, like I said, that we are 100% hands-off business. We take care of the entire journey of franchisee coming on board. So from the time that you decide in terms of what is your as per your investment appetite, in terms of what is the size that you want to go for, we start scouting for locations in the city where you're looking to invest. And then comes the development of that particular studio, which is again done by us, because the experience part also has the ambience built into it. So we have standardized our studio design, and we have a capable team in house which does the designing and the site development of each studio. Artist accommodation is something where the artists who are part of your studio would live. Now these artists move from are from across the country, so it's not necessary that let's say you're taking a studio in Bombay, you'll have all the artists from Bombay. You'll have a bunch of guys who are coming from outside, because we keep on moving our artists from one location to the other, purely from an exposure perspective. It also helps in terms of uh, letting them experience the brand as well. So it's
Mhm.
experience both inwards and outwards is what enhances aliens every day as well. So artist accommodation comes in place. The service charge is the charge which is levied to franchisee, or is part of the franchisee investment, is all of these things that we do, which is going to different various cities, scouting for location, making sure that your agreements are gotten into place, negotiating with the landlord, and training your staff which is going to get hired, which is a studio team, and so on and so forth. So the service charge comes from that perspective. On an average, from the time you say I want to go, or I'm ready to invest, to your studio opening, it's around about a 3.5 months cycle, sometimes goes to 4. So the service charge takes care of that duration and all the back end that's happening in that.
Okay, perfect. So when you say site development, does it also involve that, suppose if franchisee also has a specific location and thought that, okay, I would want to open an outlet over here, and so do you also entertain that, or do you freshly look for a location for that franchisee in
No,
certain
no.
city?
What we do is, I mean, if you have a location, what we do is we come and check whether that particular location is viable or not viable. Now viability depends on a couple of factors, whether it's in a high traffic area, what kind of other brands which fall in the same category are there or not, allied brands, such as, are there food joints, are there apparel brands nearby, and so on and so forth. So we do a viability check, and there are a lot of other parameters as well. It's not just these 2 3 that I mentioned, but we've got a whole host of viability parameters that we run through. And if that place checks out through those filters, then we are more than happy to go ahead with that particular site. If it doesn't, then in consultation with the franchisee partner, we go into scouting, and we present those options to the franchisee partner and take it from there.
Got it. So basically, you're understanding the footfall and the
Yeah,
population and the market
yeah,
size and everything. Got it.
great.
Perfect. So I hope our business seekers have got this message. We move to the next slide of ours, wherein we would want to understand what is the potential. So after investment, the next question comes is, what is the return that they can expect, and how quickly can they achieve that return once the amount invested? So if you can just elaborate on the numbers that we see over here in the
So
annual revenue and profit.
So these are conservative numbers. When I
Mhm.
say conservative numbers, the annual profit is on a conservative side. The revenue is also taken on a conservative side, and your initial capital investment comes out within 4 years, basis on these particular numbers. But in our sample size of franchisees that we have, there have been cases who have superseded it. So I'm really not going to start reading out the numbers. It explains
Yeah.
itself. But
Mhm.
our ROI is anywhere between a 18% on the lower side to a 32% on a higher side, annualized. So keeping that in mind, these are very conservative numbers. These are numbers which we have seen getting delivered. We have delivered it ourselves, and that's the reason why it is here. So in a span of 4 years, your invested amount comes, whether you are taking the smallest, which is anywhere, the first size of studio, which is 450 to 550 square feet, or if you take the largest, which is a 2000 square feet studio, your investment amount comes out in the 4 years.
Got it. Perfect. So over here, we also see there's financial performance of your existing outlets, Pune being your oldest outlet, and Delhi and Vizag. So the numbers says about the net profit and the total earnings. So would you like to explain? We see that for Pune, the net profit is quite high compared to the other cities. So I mean, what went right with them so that they are able to, perform and achieve those numbers? I think it gives and boosts our business seekers, to understand the process and what they can do to achieve those numbers at their location once they start with outlet.
True. So, Kritika, over here, what you're seeing is actual business numbers month on month from July up until Feb. Uh, Pune, and the reason we've taken these 3 cases is because it's basis the aging, right? The Pune outlet is the oldest. I think they're in their 26th month right now. Delhi is
Mhm.
somewhere around 18th or 19th month. Vizag is just finished a year, around about a year. And if you see, their monthly businesses are pretty much laid out now. any studio takes an X amount of time to establish itself. While we provide all sort of assistance from our end, which includes artists, which includes marketing, which includes lead generation, and a host of other things that we do. Uh, Business gradually grows. Now, in this, there are also months where there has been a little bit of you know hampering of COVID, which has come in. If you look at January, right, we had a little bit of restrictions because of that, but again the business bounces back. We've also seen that happen over two COVID waves that we've braved ourselves with,
Yeah.
while all of that went down. But effectively, this is our month on month business that is happening now. In Pune, we are already the leading studio. Like every city has other studios apart from Aliens, but Pune, we are the leading studio. We are number one in Pune. We're number one in Bombay, and Delhi, because it's just 18 months, they're inching towards being in the top three and moving forward. And Vizag is again a similar case. What is also interesting is what you see from a size perspective. So Pune and Delhi are roughly the same size. I think they are anywhere between 750, 800 square feet. Vizag is a relatively smaller studio. I think it is in the 450, 500 bracket. But the numbers talk for themselves, and they do phenomenally well. These are also those studios which we invested the time and energy in terms of scouting the location, providing the best of the artists. The artists go through a regular training every 6 months. We at our end monitor their business very carefully. And all of these franchisee owners are are so wonderful people that we work very closely with them, where even if there is a slight movement, there is a constant dialogue that is happening. uh, but the numbers are speaking for itself. So Pune, purely because it's 24 months or a little over 24 months, the numbers are the way they are. Delhi is very soon going to follow suit, and Vizag is going to follow suit to Delhi.
Got it. Perfect. Perfect. So I see we clearly see a number which is higher in Pune is because that's the oldest outlet, and eventually as and when you stay in and continue with the work, you'll start seeing the return. That is obvious with any businesses and every businesses that you operate. So as you were mentioning in the previous slide, that ROI eventually ranges from 18% to 32%,
Sure.
and businesses to businesses. So, any brief on this slide that Hiroshi would want to give?
So a lot of people, when we talk about franchising and we talk about ROI, they sort of get taken aback, saying, "Wow, 18 to 32%. That's a wide gap, but how are you so sure that it's going to be 32%?" Like I said, this is something where we have tested our model. We have tested the way we operate. We have tested a lot of things, and we've realized that on a lower side, where if your business really doesn't take off, which has not happened with a lot of, with any of our franchisee, the time delay might have happened. Instead of 6 months, you might have taken 8 months. But on a lower side, the ROI is 18%, and on the higher side, it's 32%. And this is purely out of the data that we have gathered over a period of time.
Got it. Perfect. I think that's a great percentage that we see. And over here, we also see there are two different revenue sharing model which is there. First one explains for the first 6 months, and the later one 20 by 80 is for another after 6 months you complete the 6 months. So can you elaborate on these two models which we see?
Sure. So, Kritika, this is basically a revenue sharing model. So, apart from the investment that you do month on month, there is a royalty that you pay us, right? So, we understand that every business which starts off as a gestation period, and hence the first 6 months is 15%, and we are through that particular journey of the first 6 months and moving forward. But after 6 months, we start seeing some sort of stability coming into the business, and that's where the royalty shifts from 15 to 20%.
20%. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And also, our business seekers, as we have discussed about the financials, the revenue sharing model, and the franchisee model that you operate in, they also would want to understand what is the support that you provide to your franchisees during this journey and once they get associated with you. So, there are a couple of brackets that we see, that artist management and established customer base, brand credibility. So, if you can just elaborate and give us brief on what is the support right from the day they sign up and start working with you till throughout the operation and throughout the process and during the journey, how do you support? till they are there
So,
with you as a franchise?
sure. So, like I was saying, we operate in franchisee invested company operated model. That's our franchisee model
Yeah.
per se. But we don't like to go down using jargon, and we say that we are a 100% hands off franchisee model. Now, what do we mean by that? Is that we all the components which are required to run a franchisee successfully and make it a thriving business, because at the end of the day, it matters to us that all our franchisee partners grow with us, because in their growth lies our growth. um, we provide a bunch of support which most of the franchisee models out there don't. Now, to start with, the heart and soul of the heart and soul of Alien Tattoo is the artist. And like I was mentioning earlier, we believe in giving world class experience, and the world class experience comes from world class artists. So we provide artists to you, and they get formally trained at our school. So there is a certain amount of standardization, there is a certain amount of quality that we guarantee. So that happens. Before I mean, given the fact that now we've been existing for 10 odd years, there is a, a certain amount of fan followership that our brand already has. Somebody who wants to get a really good tattoo and enjoy that entire experience, they look up, and they try and find us one way or the other. Apart from the fact that we also market ourselves pretty aggressively, so we've got established customer base also, and these customer bases are established in most of the leading cities that we have. uh,
Mhm.
Aliens Tattoo, over a period of time, has built a very strong name for itself. So the moment you say Aliens Tattoo, everybody knows that there are certain things which are a given. And when I say given, the quality, the design, the experience is a given. And we are second to none. It's something of that sort. So these are the supports that we give. Like I was mentioning earlier, we have a robust backend system which helps you manage the leads better. So we have a CRM system, and all the leads which we generate, all the business that we generate, gets tracked over there and gets tracked from city to city, studio to studio. We also operate from a centralized marketing model, where the marketing team sitting out of Bombay markets all the locations. and
Got it.
and and this is after the studio, after the studio goes live. But before that, we also are the people who will, like I was mentioning earlier, right? We are the ones, the moment you say yes, I want to become an alien, I want to have an Aliens franchisee, and I want to become part of Aliens franchisee, we start doing the back end. We try and map the potential in that particular city. We try
Mhm.
and figure out what is the best location that the studio can be in. We go ahead and start our conversation with property owners in that particular location. So we walk every step of the way. We design your studio, we go ahead and get your studio constructed, we manage the inventory and the artist. So when I say 100%, there is no aspect of Aliens franchising model where we say, okay, we are going to let it go, and let the franchisee partner figure it out. We believe in walking every step of the way with them, and this is the support that we provide.
Got it. So at the initial stage, I have one question. At the initial stage of businesses, I mean, it's difficult to get that hold of customer or to increase that footfall. So since you market on a global basis for all your set of franchisee outlets, do you also help them generate lead? And
Yes.
how is it been taken care on a regular basis? If
Yes.
I want to say.
So to answer that question, Kritika, what we do is our lead generation processes are primarily online. So all the marketing efforts that we do are done in a manner where we create, when we generate leads. Now all of these leads get funneled onto the website and then eventually show up in the CRM system. So to give you a quick example, let's say that you are our upcoming franchisee owner, and let's say you've taken a city like Kochi, for example. Okay, and your studio is supposed to go live on the first of next month. A month before that, or 15 to 20 days before that, we start aggressive marketing. Okay, where you know we launch your social handles. We go ahead and create enough and more digital buzz, saying that we are the studio is coming, or Aliens is coming into a particular city. and eventually go about announcing when the studio is going to go live and so on and so forth, and that activity also continues post your studio goes live. Now this is just the launch model. Apart from that, there are consistent marketing activities that we do, which is managing your social media handles, creating content which drives traffic to your particular studio, and that's done using, again, most of it is digital, but wherever we see a requirement of having local tie-ups with brands in and around, or high footfall areas in and around your studio, we go ahead and do that as well. So case to case basis, the offline activity happens, but primarily we generate enough and more traffic and leads on by using our online methods. That leads is something which is not an issue when you look at it from our franchising model, because we understand, like I said, we understand that your growth is going to propel our growth.
Perfect, perfect. So I think there is an immense support that is being provided, and end-to-end support till you are part of the system. So any of the business seekers don't have to worry about, even if you don't have any knowledge about the tattoo industry or you don't come from that background. And we'll discuss in detail. I would request all the business seekers to please share your contact numbers and messages. And once you're viewing the session, please get in touch with us so that we can discuss in detail and brief you about aliens, tattoos, and the business model. So over here, we see there is already a lot of outlets that has gone live, and there are other outlets which are booked and awaited. So I would want to understand from you, Hiroshi. I mean, what are the locations that primarily you would be targeting and looking to open up the outlets as you have demands from the other locations in terms of the customer base? So if you
So
can.
sure. So, Kritika, like your like the slide says, we already are at 11 locations, where we are
Okay, great.
where we are live and you know thriving very beautifully. The city is really loving us, and we can see that every day. Our reach increases, our customer base increases. We are putting out some really beautiful work out there. But that being said, we also have a couple of locations which are going to go live in a couple of months. Like Calcutta is coming up, Hyderabad is coming up, uh, Goa, and if I'm not wrong, Lucknow is coming up. The locations that we are open to right now is Noida. We are open to Patna. We're looking at some. We're looking at Trivandrum also because it has huge potential as a market. Bhopal, Raipur, and Jaipur. So these are the places where we are looking at opening up aliens. Guwahati in the northeast is something which is a beautiful location, and people over there really love their tattoos. So
Yeah.
these are the locations that we're looking at coming up very soon.
Perfect. So, this is a message to business seekers, whoever is from that location or from any other location that you are connected with us. Please share your messages so that our team can get in touch with you. So, we have already spoken about the site selection and site development process, how your team visits and understand the process. I would want to understand from you, like, how much time does it take since when you start scrutinizing the site and then till the franchisee outlet is up and running. So, what is the ideal time for getting started with the outlet?
So it depends on a lot of factors, but what we've seen over a period of the last 4 5 years that we've been doing this is it normally takes around about 60 to 75 odd days from the time the location has been finalized, and you initiate the paperwork and so on and so forth till you actually cut the ribbon and open the doors for people to walk through. So it's around about a 60 to 75 odd days journey.
Got it. And in terms of the outlet fit outs as well as the trainings and the staffs that you provide, so all that is provided from your end, or if franchisee has their own arrangement, you can share the brand details with them and they can get it done. So, how is it being taken care?
So I would like to answer this a little differently. If let's say a franchisee has a location, we will go and we will check that particular location. If the location is viable, we have no issues. If they have a team which is already in place and they come from a customer service background, we are more than welcome to onboard. But that is done through a proper screening process. Our HR gets involved. We see for fitment and so on and so forth. because we pride on the culture on which this entire organization is built on, and that's our filter. So it's not that we are stringent in terms of who we take in and who we don't, but we are extremely careful and thorough in terms of what kind of manpower it is. And obviously then starts the process of training, and then you go into your studio, and your studio goes live. Now that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is the artist. Now artist is something that we retain 100% control on. Even if you have certain artists that you recommend, we will again put them through our filter. They need to check through our filters in terms of they have the right skill set in terms of being an artist. Do they understand the protocols, so on and so forth? And post that, they go through a training with us in the school, and then they become part of it. So but what we've normally seen is that whoever has invested with us so far, they've really not come up with us with a request saying that, oh, I have a team already, would you be able to absorb? More often than not, it's more from a perspective that I want to be part of Aliens, and this business better than anybody. Pretty much, I mean, you guys have pretty much set the standards in terms of how things should be operated, and they let us do the entire thing. So we manage the hiring of the artist, the studio team, and the backend team.
Perfect, perfect. So, and we move to the next slide, wherein this is our last question from our business seekers' point of view. So, how is the brand performing during pandemic and COVID times? We move to the other slide. And especially, I mean, as we know, there are a lot of sectors that were impacted really badly.
True.
So, and how were you able to support your franchisees during those times when everything was shut? So,
Uh, I'm surprised that this question is coming a little late in the conversation. I thought you're going to lead this conversation with that, because truth be said, this is not the first time that we've had this question. Whenever people come to us to discuss the franchisee model, they really like what they see, because like I said, the offerings are pretty beautiful. We go ahead and have taken care of the most smallest thing, and we are very detail oriented like that. To answer your question, did COVID affect us? Did pandemic affect us? Yes, it did. Both first wave, second wave, and third wave. Um, we did. I mean, we had to comply with the norms which is laid down by the government, so we were shut. But what we did in the back end is that we did not stop. Taking in clients from a perspective that we started doing priority booking. So we said that, hey, you know what, you want to get a tattoo done? We'll initiate part of the process. Now, what is the part of the process? Is get your design done. All right, finalize that, and we kept that conversation going. And it takes a lot of effort to sustain something where the person is eager to get a tattoo done, but all that is happening is design is going back and forth. So we did that, and we did priority booking. So as your design got finalized, we gave you a date, and then when the date arrived, and the dates were given in such a manner that we preempted that when would the lockdown get over and what kind of norms would come in, and then go about doing it. We operated at government mandated norms in terms of how many people can be there in the studio, what kind of sanitization processes need to be followed, and so on and so forth. And that's how we braved wave one and wave two. With regards to the franchisees also, we understood how it is. While during the first wave, we went ahead and we relaxed the royalty, and it was then paid by the franchisees in one go once their business is retained. When it came to wave two, we again followed the same protocols, and that's how we've survived. So as a brand, as an organization, we are also cognizant of the fact as to how the world is getting impacted, and how we need to be very flexible in terms of going about it. Because for us, it is not about money. It is about growing the community of tattoo enthusiasts, and we take tattoo very seriously. So we look at it from a very different perspective.
very well said, and that was a great initiative and support from your end. And I hope our business seekers have gone through this entire slides and the discussion that we have related to the model, the brand USP, the support throughout this session. So I would request all the business seekers to please share your messages into the comment section, or we move to the next slide. You can get in touch with us on the number here. It's 9844443200. You can also write us a mail at business@franchisebazar.com. If you visit our portal franchisebazar.com, you would be able to find ample number of opportunities for you that suits and matches your profile. So please visit our website and do follow us on social media to get updates on regular updates on the brands that are open for franchising. And thank you so much, Hirosh, for being part of this session and briefing us and giving us details about Alien Tattoos. It was really great session, and to get to know more about tattoos and the businesses and the market which is there. So thank you again for being part of
Thank
this
you so
session.
much. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. I hope I've been able to answer most of their questions. We would love to hear from you. At any given point in time, you can always reach out to us through FranchiseBazar. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much, Hirosh, and share your messages. We'll connect with you and we'll discuss in detail about the model which is there. So thank you once again, and thank you, Hirosh, once again for this session.
Thank you.